With Liquor Barn, you can shop your favorite bourbon, that perfect bottle of wine, or discover something new. To place an order for pickup or delivery, download the Liquor Barn app, visit liquorbarn.com, or call your nearest Liquor Barn location. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our email list for all the latest news on products, promotions, and events. Liquor Barn, where Kentuckians go to celebrate life. Cheers!
Limestone Farms bourbons are like a secret portal to a world of rich flavors where high proof meets smooth satisfaction. Every barrel is meticulously crafted and blended with a specific message in mind. Experience clean delineated flavor profiles that will have you engaged from the first sip to the final drop, making your palate beg for just one more taste. Limestone Farms, bringing heritage home.
Bourbon Life listeners, it's time we all get a little toasted. With Penelope Bourbon's Toasted series, of course. This unique blend is a testament to the power of experimentation. After full maturation in a charred new American oak barrel, their bourbon is finished in a secondhand freshly toasted barrel to create a delicious variety of chars and toasts with deep vanilla and caramel notes. No matter your preference, there's a toasted blend for you. Start your one-of-a-kind experience at penelopebourbon.com.
Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight live in the Bourbon Life Studios, it is the Bourbon Life crew, almost all the crew. We've got Philip.
What's up?
What's up, Philip? You doing all right, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back, dude. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
For sure. We've got Matt.
Hey, how you doing, Mark?
Doing great, Matt.
It is good to have. I feel like Philip is like the special guest. It's been so long since I've seen the guy, since we've had him on the show. It's always great to have you back, Philip.
I don't think people can see your Golden Girls shirt. Take your camera and tilt it down. Just there you go. Yeah, man.
I had to wear that tonight since Chad's not here.
Chad, yeah, big puss. Anyway, Stacey, how are you doing?
Great. We're kicking the night off with violence.
Yes, that's the way we're supposed to. When somebody's not here, they open themselves up to all the violence that they deserve, right?
I almost brought Fun Dip for all you fuckers, too.
Man.
That's good. So by round 3, all of our mouths would be like blue, red,
yeah.
purple.
With the little candy white. Is that the one with the little stick? Yeah, the stick.
Yeah, that was one of Matt's Philip tasting notes.
Oh, yeah. This one tastes like Fun Dip.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I think you nailed that.
I think you did a pretty good job, Philip. I mean, I'm going to say, it was almost like you were here, like he was channeling you. It was pretty good. So, all right, well, we are the Bourbon Life Podcast, presented by Liquor Barn. We appreciate their support and the support of all of our sponsors. Could not bring you this show each week without all their help. So I'm excited, man, to have everybody back here tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Philip, you brought something for us on the first round. What are we doing here? Are we blinding this? Is that the deal?
It's Philip's brown bag surprise.
We're just going blind on this one.
Kind of scary sometimes when Philip.
This is new. I know none of you all have had this.
We have not had this. He knows.
What a bold assumption. Did this just come out today?
Maybe not today, but it's not. I don't think it's released in Kentucky, so you wouldn't have been able to get a hold of it.
Ancient. No, just kidding. Matt, I'm going to start with you, man. My co-host, my bourbon drinking buddy. What you pick it up on this?
I like the nose. It's got a lot of good familiar flavors. Definitely high in the caramel, vanillas. A little bit of oak with it as well. Some of the corn is shining through. I'm getting like really nice kind of corn on the cob type note on the nose with it. Just like a really clean nose. It doesn't really nose very hot to me. I would just guess based on giving this a waft that it's, I'm going to say sub 105 proof.
Gotcha. Okay. Stacey, what about you?
I really like the nose as well. Very desserty, but not like overly sweet, if that makes any sense. Like Matt said, a lot of the caramel notes, I'm getting some brulee
Gotcha.
vibes from it. Also picking up like a little cereal
Okay.
on it.
Yeah, that's what, it's funny because Matt was talking about the corn, and I was thinking maybe this has a younger age statement to it, possibly, you think?
Yeah.
Just because some of the grain is kind of coming forward on
Some
that. So
caramel corn vibes.
you know what, Stacey, that was my note. Damn it. The one note that I came up with that I thought was actually going to be pretty good was caramel corn.
Well,
but-
I've been crushing a lot of the Chicago mix lately because I have a Costco membership. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm getting from this.
But yeah, it tastes, it noses a little young, but Matt, like you said, proof wise, yeah, I'm curious to taste it, but I'm guessing under 100, maybe in the low 90s, if that much, possibly, but we'll see how the palate. Philip, you want to give notes, even though you, have you tried this before yet?
Yeah,
You
I did.
Okay.
The one note, I guess that
Fun dip.
no, I was going to say more of a caramel apple than
Oh, yeah.
caramel
Okay.
corn. That's kind of what,
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. I can
that's
see
sweet.
that.
Yeah. Like a Granny Smith apple.
There is some brightness under there.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. So now you got this, you didn't get this in state? Was this out of state?
No, it was mailed to me.
Ah. Was that legally or no? Just kidding.
It was legally. It was from a liquor company.
Oh,
So,
okay. Wow. So we
Can
gotta
you
be
give
nice.
us a price range on this?
I think it's $34.
Okay.
a bottle.
All right. So very good price, reasonably priced. Not too bad at all, right?
Sourced from Kentucky?
No, sourced from Tennessee.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't recognize it just off the nose, but that of course doesn't mean
It's
anything.
Jack Daniels.
I was gonna say there's no banana. There's no banana.
It's,
There's
I
no
can tell you, it's not from Jack Daniels. It's not from
Dickel.
Dickel, and it's not from the Tennessee Whiskey Company either.
Okay. Huh.
Well, I'm anxious to find out what this is because it smells really good.
Yeah, it does. Well, guys, we had our Friendsgiving. I know Matt usually cooks for us, but that's okay, Matt. We're not going to hold it against you, man.
No, I'm going to make it up for it. Hopefully for the Christmas episode.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll have a little
you
more
made
time.
up for it with
Oh yeah.
that delicious ham and
Yeah.
your nuts.
Yes,
You
Matt
brought the
his
pork and nuts.
Matt brought his delicious, tasty nuts for us all to enjoy tonight, which was a treat.
It really
Matt?
was. I
Yeah.
was very excited.
Oh, thank you. My nuts are 1 year older now, so a little different
they're
recipe
very
this year.
good.
Yeah,
I noticed Stacey was
a little more mature.
She was enjoying your nuts earlier.
Yeah.
Tremendously. So yeah, they're.
I brought Matt's nuts with me.
I brought,
you brought
I
the
brought
nuts.
the nuts
You-
downstairs.
oh,
That's good. Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
He's always packing.
Man, oh man. Matt also brought his country ham with us, man. We didn't bring it downstairs with us.
I know, I haven't even tried to try it.
We'll have to get
But
it
you
there.
didn't try it?
No,
Round
yeah.
two.
was gonna-
I thought
okay.
we were bringing it down here, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll bring it.
It's aging a little bit longer.
yeah.
So for anybody that listens, obviously you know that we've become kind of country ham fans around here. Matt cured his first ones back in January of 23, right?
Yeah. 22.
No, it's 23
How many months is it?
because we're in
Okay,
24.
yeah. That's right.
it 23?
Yes, you're right. So January 23 was when I packed my first ham.
Oh my God.
Did you take your nuts with you?
It's called packing a ham.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You pack a ham with brown sugar, salt, and whatever other secret. That was Steve Clem's group, right? Here in
Yes.
Clem's Refrigerated Meats.
Clem's Refrigerated Meats here in
Yeah,
Lexington.
here in Lexington.
All hams on deck.
That's right. All hams
Yeah.
on.
I
That's,
love
that's
that.
The name of the
that's
group.
the Facebook group. All
Yeah.
hams on deck.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So in 23, I did 2 of them, and they have been hanging outside of my house underneath our patio, like
Yeah.
in the open air for 22 months now. And I finally decided we were going to crack one open.
Yeah, man. You should have seen it when I got video. I'm going
Oh,
to
it's
post
disgusting.
it. Let me tell you. Because
It would look terrible.
It-
It looked like a science experiment, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
It was-
something grown
Do
in
you
a
have to
petri
like
dish.
shave like
well, we scrubbed it. He scrubbed the outside of it. After he got, so the way that Steve and his group does these, you cure it and then you cure it again. And then you come back a couple weeks after that. It's about a month and a half process total, right?
Yeah.
And then you go back the third and final time and we wrap it. So the way they do it is they wrap it like in butcher paper or something. And then they put it in two grocery bags, the brown grocery bags. Like you drop it in and then you put one over the top, right? So we have
Yeah.
two grocery
so,
bags.
So it's cured twice. And
Right.
You have to, so it needs to sit in the salt cure for, I think they say like 40 days. After about 40 days, refrigerated, salt cured, it's technically can be eaten.
Yeah, right.
At that point, they say, of course, if it's like a huge ham, it may take a little longer, but, on average, about 40 days or so, and then your ham is good to go. So we then, like Mark was saying, wrap the hock and...
Oh, that's right. We wrap the hock with the paper.
Wrap the hock in with paper to kind of cover that hock up, and then you put it into a paper bag, put a paper bag on top of that paper bag, and then stuff it in a pillowcase.
In a cotton cotton
pillowcase, and outside it hung. And so I had these hanging next to the ham that I did last year, just 10 months ago.
Right.
And the size, the difference from the 2 years of the sweat out of this one, probably 8 pounds different.
Wow.
It's crazy. And the cool thing about, because I did one this year, so my ham's only like 10 months old, like you said, we did it in January. So, mine still, it would sweat and you could see the moisture, especially because I had it hanging in the garage in the summer, early summer. And then I took it down to Freddy's after we did the episode on Country Ham and put it in their smokehouse. So it's in their enclosed smokehouse now. But it'll get some smoke. I don't know, since it's already aged. At that point, it was like 6 or 7 months old. So I don't know if it'll actually absorb any of the smoke or not. Plus, it's wrapped in 2 paper bags and a pillowcase. So I don't know.
It'll probably still pick up some.
You think it will?
Yeah.
It may. So we'll see how mine turns out. But I was shocked, man. He took that pillowcase off tonight.
Yeah, first off, the pillowcase was covered in mold.
Black.
Yeah, black mold and some fuzzy mold as well. Yeah. Some green mold.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, but it's delicious.
It was really good. I mean, that's what, Fred and I talked about it, because I'd ask him, like, well, how do you know if it spoils? Because you don't know. I mean, you don't know because we didn't cure our own hams, right? So when we did it in January of this year, we did, I think, 460 hams total. There's like 100 people down there doing this. Mm-hmm. So you're just curing hams. You don't know who's going to end up with that ham. You just hope and pray that everybody else there is doing the right job.
Ooh, I don't know if I have the...
Yeah, so that was the concern. So 22 months, Matt's been waiting, wondering and hoping that whoever cured the ham he got had done it right. Mm-hmm. And so far, Matt, we're about 2 hours in. We're doing okay.
Yeah.
I feel fine.
Yeah.
We're really selling it to you, aren't we, Philip?
No, but it was delicious, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Great color. Once we finally got into it, got everything scrubbed off of the exterior of the ham itself. So
for sure. And I took videos of the whole process, like when he
you did?
Oh yeah, the outside, and then when he cut the pillowcase off, took pictures of the bag, and then once he got the outside bagging off, what the actual ham looked like, and it's like green and molded and white and black and all sorts. It's penicillin, right? So it's good for you.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah. But then he cut into it, and I mean, when he cut into that, I was waiting. It's like, because Fred's like, you'll be able to tell when you cut it, you smell it. He's like, if it smells bad, then
wouldn't that be such a disappointment?
Oh,
22 months and it smells like death.
Well, that's what Freddie said, that they've lost in the past. Like they'll have 3 or 4 that maybe they'll cut into and they'll be bad. So I just can't imagine, man, hanging them, doing all that work, and then.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that much work.
Well, I know,
but
the anticipation,
right?
I mean, because I've been waiting. I've been waiting for Matt to finally say, "All right, I'm going to cut it." Because I'm like, "Come on, dude, we got to do this." I've never pushed him on it.
When you posted earlier today, I was like, "Rucker's got another ham," and then I was like, "Oh wait, maybe it's time for Matt's ham."
Yeah, it was. So it was, and I can't wait to pair it with some higher proof bourbon for sure. So you guys want to jump back over to the whiskey and talk a little bit about it in terms of the palate? I took one sip. Stacey?
I took one too. So.
All right, Matt, can I throw it to you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. I'll take this one. I get a lot of the notes from the nose show up on the palate. There's the vanilla is really prevalent. It's kind of hot. I think it drinks a little young in age, I would guess.
Yeah.
But there's good amount of vanilla. Some of those caramels come through. It's almost like a little, almost pick up some mint, I think, like a peppermint. It's kind of like that warm, almost like that, like kind of peppermint, like back of the throat sort of flavors. A little bit of distillate. I would guess this is younger. I'm going to say, maybe 3 to 4 years. I think I have a feeling I know what this is.
Oh, but Matt, listen to him, man.
I don't know
Stacey?
what the heck it is, but I enjoy it. I think I enjoy the nose on it a little bit more than the palate. Agree with Matt's notes. Do you think that like cereal note still comes through on the palate for me personally?
But easy to drink. I mean,
very easy to drink, yeah. But
Nice.
I would agree. I think that this is something that's a little younger.
So let me ask you this: for the price point, if it is $35, $36,
30. I think it's $34.
I mean, is it worth? I mean,
I would drink it.
Matt, what do you think?
If this is what I think it is, there's another product by this company I think I would drink before this one.
Okay, so
But that's if I'm right.
from a price or from a proof point, what do you think the proof on this is? Do you think it's even 90?
I'm going to say at tops 95.
I was going to guess 92.
I was going to guess like 86, but that's my take on it. But I mean, I do like it. It's an easy sipper. It may not be something I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go drink this all the time. But I mean, I like it. I mean, I like the flavors. I really like the nose on it. Probably like the nose better.
I do too.
It is still a little young tasting, but it does have a nice little finish on there as well. Matt, you're talking.
It would be able to hold up in a cocktail.
I don't know.
I think it might fall a little flat in a
Yeah,
cocktail.
I don't think there's enough oomph. There's a little bit of that. You talk about peppermint, right, Matt? I mean, there's a little bit of that, a little bit of something that could pop through some sweetness. I just don't know that it would be enough because there's a lot of caramel vanilla in this, and I think if you put it into a sweet cocktail, I think it might kind of get lost. I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
I could see this like working in a hot toddy.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, like something where flavor isn't so much meant to punch through a lot of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't believe I would use this in like an old fashioned or a Manhattan or like anything where you're mixing with other strong flavors.
Yeah.
Like, a whiskey ginger, this would be great. A mule, I think this would work well.
Yeah. I was thinking, because it just a highball, just something easy. Put some soda water or whatever in there over some ice in the summertime. This would be simple because I really think it's lower proof. And I think I like those 90 proof or lower.
This is good summertime whiskey.
When I make I think that's what I was thinking. That you put a big cube of ice in there and put some soda, put it in a tall glass, and enjoy that. Maybe put a lemon wedge or something on that.
Like cut this in with some lemonade, kind of like make a faux Arnold Palmer of sort, John Daly.
No, I think it'd do well in a cocktail. But if you're going to make a Manhattan or you're going to make a old fashioned, I don't think this would.
Would you pair this with Matt's nuts, Philip?
Hold on, let me see.
Phil, hey, but what do you think in terms of the palate and finish? We need to ask you since.
I like it. And I like all the flavors. My biggest thing of why I like it is because it's lower proof.
Yeah.
And it's something that you could sip on. You still get all your good bourbon notes.
Right. And it's affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something that sorry, I had one pour.
Yeah.
We'll have to lay down.
Yeah. I'm done. It's not 135 proof where you're like, shit, I'm out of here, man.
Yeah.
No, I get it. And it's enjoyable. And I think, putting this in a highball, I think would be really, really good. We're not necessarily at the end of the round yet, but you guys want to go ahead and find out what we're drinking.
Do you think this is sweet mash?
Sweet mash?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. What would make you think that, Matt?
To me, I'm just guessing this is similar to some of the Tennessee sweet mash that we had not long ago at Old Glory when we had Old Glory on the show. Some of it kind of maybe different mash bill coming out of there, but to me, it reminds me somewhat of sweet mash. It's not super hot, super tannic on the finish. I know a lot of that is usually attributed to a longer time in oak. And if this is a little bit younger, it may not have some of that. But even as like a distillate, I think if it's young, they chased like some of the grain and some of the young qualities out of it, which makes me think that maybe it could be
a sweet mash.
Yeah, like a sweet mash, so it doesn't have that sour backset in it.
Yeah. It's funny you said that because as soon as you said that, I went back and took a drink because a lot of times with a sweet mash, I don't get that Kentucky hug effect as much. Mm-hmm. There's something about a sweet mash for some reason. It just doesn't impact my palate or my throat, I should say, really. So I was like it's not my palate. It's really, you get that burn or that hug feeling in your
Kentucky chokeholds.
Yeah.
So is Do they call that in Tennessee? Is this the Tennessee Walker?
I guess it could be, Matt. But you might be right there, Matt, because it doesn't have that. Even though I really think it's low, and it may be even lower than 86, maybe. But I'm going to say 86. But it doesn't have that effect on my chest. The esophagus. I don't have that burn or that hug effect. And a lot of times, a lot of sweet mash will come across that way to me. So. Stacey, any opinion on that?
I agree.
You agree, Philip? You know what it is.
Well, I know what it is. So yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Go fetch it.
It doesn't make a difference. He's got it with him. What you going to tell us what it is?
So it's the
Country
Called
Smooth.
it. You
the
called
new
it.
Country Smooth Tennessee Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
It's very
All right.
good.
What's the proof on it?
It is 86.
Nice.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
it's aged at least 2 years, distilled in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Nice. So we got the youth right. We got the proof. Oh, I got the proof right. Matt, was that what you thought it was?
This was what I thought it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which one would you drink before that?
Because unlike you fuckers, Matt actually looks at my Instagram page and he knew.
I think I would drink the Country Smooth Straight Bourbon Whiskey, the Kentucky.
small batch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
small batch. I
What's the proof
really quite like it.
on that?
I believe it's 86 or 87.
I think it is too.
Okay,
I think
I knew it was
yeah.
lower proof. I just
Yeah.
couldn't remember if it was the same.
But still good.
And this is a weeded mash bill.
Oh, it is.
This one.
Oh,
Okay. Wow.
huh. I didn't pick up on that. That's kind of now. Are they? But that's sour mash. It's not sweet mash, right?
That I don't know.
We don't know.
But he nailed it. It's from Old Glory.
Huh?
Son of a bitch.
Damn.
So
Matt.
then it would be
is
sweet mash.
Yeah.
Look at you,
Oh,
man.
man, that's awesome, man. Nice call, dude. That's great. Matt's the man. So I could pick out proof, but Matt could pick out a lot more.
I didn't pick out shit. Thought it
That's
was
all right.
good.
You kind of. I was gonna say you look cute, but then, well, I don't know about that either. So. Well, that's great though. So that's a new release.
So it is. Yeah. It's. They have launched in some states. It's not here yet, but
Okay.
When will it be in Kentucky?
I don't know that yet.
And it's Tennessee, just Tennessee whiskey.
It's a Tennessee Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Oh, Tennessee straight bourbon. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a bourbon.
Yep.
I mean, not that I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Don't start.
$34.99. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I think a highball, something like that, especially in the summertime. And again, I mean, even drinking Country Smooth when we had L'Oreal back on the show and talked about it. I mean, I think that was really kind of our thoughts at that point in time was it'd be a great summertime sipper. It'd be great in a light kind of cocktail like that as well. So I think this kind of holds true with the brand and what they're kind of poised to do. A little bit younger.
I was gonna say it drinks really nice for something that's that young because it's like we mentioned, you get a lot of like the corn and like cereal notes on it, but it's not overpowering like a lot of other younger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like with that one, usually Country Smooth stuff to me hits about that. Obviously not proof, but like that JTS Brown 4-year. I think their stuff always is kind of comparable to those 4-year bourbons.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree, man. That's a good choice, man. Thanks for the surprise.
Thanks for sharing.
On that one. Well, guys, we're at the end of round 1 here already. Anything you guys want to add before we wrap up this round?
I would not have picked that as a weeded bourbon.
I wouldn't either. I'm kind of surprised because I didn't call out any notes for a weeded bourbon.
Yeah, I didn't.
So,
When I first opened it, I was like, oh, this is probably a higher rye mash bill, is what I assumed.
Do you know what the mash bill is on that?
I don't know exactly what the
breakdown is.
Yeah.
It's good.
yeah, it is. I'm just surprised that didn't pick out any notes for
Mr. Master of Bourbon.
whatever. It's just a title. Matt's the master of
Just a
bourbon.
minute. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yeah, we finally
Hey,
got
I
him.
worked hard to get it.
He paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
He paid hard to get it.
All those sponsors pay for that.
Anyway, why don't we go ahead and take a break here, guys? And we're going to put this bottle back under the table because
I
we're not
knew it.
going to.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
upset.
You
Yep.
guys have missed your opportunity.
Old
on
Cooter's
that
getting
one.
upset.
So,
That's all right. I'm going to take my ham home then.
Oh, and you don't take your nuts.
No, you can keep the nuts.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. All right, guys, let's take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors. We'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Visit the historic James E. Pepper Distillery, located in the vibrant Distillery District in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Initially built in 1880 by Colonel James E. Pepper, one of the founding fathers of the bourbon industry, it operated until 1967 when it was shut down and abandoned for over 50 years. After a decade of historical research, the brand was relaunched and the distillery was rebuilt. Distilling resumed on-site in 2017 using the same historic bourbon recipe as when it closed in 1967. The distillery offers a selection of fine whiskeys for tasting and retail purchases, including the award-winning Decanter Bourbon. Intimate guided tours include time in the museum, an up-close look at the grain-to-glass process, and a complimentary tasting. Stop by for an old-fashioned cocktail and see why TripAdvisor ranks the Pepper Distillery as the third best distillery in Kentucky and the #1 attraction in Lexington. Learn more at jamesepepper.com.
Hey there, I'm Carrie Van Winkle, founder of Pappy & Company, where we celebrate family heritage and Southern craftsmanship. Check out our curated collection of artisanal goods that embody the spirit of Kentucky. From our signature barrel-aged pepper sauce aged in Pappy Van Winkle bourbon barrels to our luxurious leather goods inspired by generations of tradition, each item reflects our commitment to quality and legacy. Our line of gourmet food items are thoughtfully selected to bring the taste of the South to your table. Indulge in what I can say is the best bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup on the planet. A perfect blend of buttery rich flavors that elevate any dish or cocktail. We're big fans of the Bourbon Life Podcast, and we're honored to share the legacy of our great-grandfather Pappy Van Winkle with all of you. So visit pappyco.com for 15% off your purchase with code BourbonLife15.
All right, everybody, welcome back for round 2 of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight live in the Bourbon Life Studios, it is most of 80% of the Bourbon Life crew. We got Stacey.
Hey, yo.
Was it? Look at you. You stripped off the sweatshirt.
I did.
You are going fancy. Can we see the
support?
No, you got it. Yeah,
I had a cool shirt.
There
Can
you go.
See it now?
Yeah.
It says, "You're lucky I've been drinking because being sober loosens my tongue." And that is a shameless plug for Little Bubby Child.
Yeah.
On Instagram. Check him out.
Very, very nice. Matt, how are you doing, man?
Good. I'm doing great, Mark.
Hanging in there?
Any better, there'd be 2 of me.
Oh, man.
Woo!
I don't know. Wow.
That's a lot of nuts.
Wow. Just in case anybody's wondering, we have been drinking some of our favorite Country Boy Cougar Bait beer this evening.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. Well, I love the guys. I love Dan Harrison, man. Good guy. He started that. So one of the founders. So good guy.
Didn't you tell him not to?
He sure as shit did.
I did. I told Dan not to. I told him it was going to be I told him it wouldn't be a good idea. We'll just leave it at that.
And thank God they didn't listen.
Thank God they didn't listen because it is my favorite beer. Hands down, Cougar Bait
Look
is.
where they're at and look where we're at, sitting in Mark's basement.
That's right.
I know, seriously, they got a facility here in Lexington. They got a big, beautiful new tap room in Georgetown.
I love the Georgetown tap room.
I have not been up there yet.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
They have
so
wrestling
nice.
up there.
They have wrestling. Oh, that's
They
right.
sure
They do,
do.
don't they?
They had
Yeah.
a Tyler Childers concert in there.
They did.
Oh, that's right. They had a
Recently.
private concert like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if it was private. I think people could get tickets. I didn't hear about it until
I didn't
the
hear
next
about it
day.
till it was over.
Yeah. But I think anybody could come. I think you had to buy
If you
tickets.
got a ticket
but,
for it, yeah.
It looked cool.
Yeah, very cool. And we got Philip. Philip, how are you, man?
I'm good, hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
I love the fact that your microphone matches your shirt. You
Yeah.
know, the purple with the purple, man.
It's all about the style.
Didn't plan that one. So,
Oh,
but
he totally planned it.
You
But it
didn't
worked.
plan it. I did.
You planned. You knew ahead of
I
time.
knew.
You knew you're like, I'm gonna get that damn purple mic again. Watch what I'm gonna do. I appreciate that.
Sit back, relax.
And hey, I'm Mark.
Hey, Mark. How
doing
are
great.
you, Mark?
I'm doing great. Hey, you know what? I've got country ham.
It's
Matt,
so good.
and I got high proof bourbon.
So what are we drinking on?
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a bourbon, is it?
No.
I forgot.
That's not a bourbon.
It is not a bourbon. This is the Penelope Estate Collection, brand new release, Founders Reserve. This is their wheat whiskey, 95% wheat, right? And 5% malted barley.
And that is Lot E that we are drinking.
This is
evening.
Lot E. They had 5 different lots.
Correct.
It didn't start with A. Did you notice that during the tasting? Oh, you didn't. Did you?
Shut up. Yes, I did. I was fine at that point. All right,
So,
I had a little bit of fun at the Penelope
yes.
Estate Collection.
Yeah,
right?
so they had a release party. It was Thursday night, right, in Louisville at 21C Hotel. So they had this release party, this new estate collection. So they have 5 lots of this, which is called the Founders Reserve. They also have single barrels, and they have what was the other one? Small batch, I think.
So I was going to ask you, on that side of that bottle, it says like number 400
Yes.
or something out of, is that just of Lot E? There's,
Yes,
I think
that's
so.
out of the
Yeah.
Lot E.
Yeah. So this is bottle 436 out of 890. of Lot E. So
Okay,
they
so
had
there's
Lot
8,
B.
9, D,
They had
E,
D,
yep.
C, D, E, and F. So we got to taste them all at the event they did over at 21C, which was a lot of fun. Danny Polisi and Mike Palladini, the founders, were both there. It's good to see. I haven't seen those guys in, well, you know, now that they're multimillionaires.
They're a little busy.
They are busy guys, but it was great to see them.
Great to see Matt and Wendy too.
Yes, Matt. Yeah,
I was so
I know, you
excited.
love those
I
guys,
haven't
yeah.
got to see them in so long.
for sure. So we had a really good time. Stacey had an extra good time.
Whatever. See me. I had a great time.
Yeah, but that's what we're drinking tonight is the Lottie. And they were so gracious. They gave everybody a bottle. Stacey forgot hers.
So what are,
Is this just shit on Stacey Day?
what are some of the stats on this one? Like, what are we looking at? Do we know age? What's proof that you got there?
This is 11 years old.
11 years.
It's
Wheat whiskey.
This lot is 107.6.
107.6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nice and warm. But again, it is a wheat whiskey.
Yeah.
So this is not a bourbon.
wheat.
And these are MGP barrels.
Yep. 11-year wheat whiskey, 107.6.
Yes,
You
sir.
said 890 some bottles.
Out of this lot, yes, 890. Exactly.
890. So probably like 7 barrels,
can't remember
six
how
to
many-
8 barrel blend.
Yeah, I can't remember how many barrels were total that they talked about, but yeah,
Stand by 24 barrels.
total for everything. Okay.
For 5 lots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was my second favorite. The Lot E, the Lot D was actually my favorite of the night. But you know, when we walked out, they just randomly, like these bottles were in bags, and they just randomly handed out
Gave them.
a bag. So you just got whatever you got.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm not complaining because this was my second favorite pour of the night. So I thought it was really good. So
Good
Phil-
to see wheat whiskey coming back.
No doubt,
Yeah.
right?
Right?
I think they were all wheat whiskeys, right?
Correct. They're all 11 years old,
Yeah.
all wheat whiskeys, and they range in proof from 107.6 to 118.4.
Okay.
I got the low one.
But that one was, I think E was my favorite,
Do you remember?
and then D was my second favorite. Yes, I remember. Asshole, you weren't even in my tasting group.
Philip, what do you get on the nose on this one, man? I'm gonna throw
So
it to
this
you.
one, I get a lot of good caramel, but I also get like a pretty strong like black licorice,
Okay.
a little bit of spice, which I'm different than a lot. I always think wheated whiskeys are spicier than rye,
Oh, okay.
but on my palate, they always have been.
Yeah.
But it's got a really beautiful nose.
Have you tried any of it with that country ham?
No,
yet?
no.
I haven't yet either.
Matt, what about you, man?
You know, Philip, I have to agree with what you're saying about wheat whiskeys and having a spicier nose. I think a lot of times when people talk about, or when we think about a wheated bourbon having those like sweet, like bready, cherry notes, it's a bourbon with a wheat content in it, not a wheated whiskey. I think when you get to like these higher wheat contents, 70%, this one 95%, I think it really does come across like quite spicy and hot on the nose. And this one to me is kind of no different than that. It's got like a big bright cinnamon, like hot kind of spicy nose. Then
Yeah.
it's got like a funky kind of musty
There's
note to it as
yeah.
well. I don't know if maybe like having some of this ham out
It's
here
the
is
ham.
like also, but it honestly kind of has like some of those like meaty, like umami kind of,
Yeah.
like an undertone.
Umami, I like that.
It
Note
smells
to
like
it.
a good winter whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Stacey, what about you?
Agree with Matt. I'm getting a little bit of like dark cherry, like almost like a dark cherry like syrup
Okay.
on the nose, but it does smell a lot hotter than the 107.6 on this.
I get like a burnt sugar on this one as well, some sweetness to it. Would you have known? I'm just curious. Any of you guys? I mean, you can lie and say yes, but if you did not know this was a 95% wheat whiskey, would you have said, "Oh, this is a wheat whiskey, not a bourbon"? I mean, would you think you would have known that?
I don't
Just-
think I would have.
There's no way I would have known. I would have been like, "Oh, yeah, this is an interesting bourbon." Yeah.
Well, and the
I like
color
this.
on it too is,
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at it, you would just think that this was a
Yeah. Just a
old bourbon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is 11 years old. And I was
Yeah.
going to say, I think I do pick up a little bit of that oak, a little bit of the barrel influence on this. Nothing dramatic, but
It
just
does have a little bit of funk on it, though, I will say. And I haven't had it with the ham yet. So
but I'm thinking that maybe, I wonder if that comes from the the barrel, the funkiness,
Perhaps.
possibly.
So
Maybe.
we talked about
The
this
aging.
was 24 barrels of experimental straight wheat whiskey.
Yeah.
24.
And they said that, they've watched it age and like they're kind of like their kids, right? Like they just watched them grow older and they sample them every so often just to see how they were developing. And then they finally like, okay, we're at that point. I think it's time to release these and let them go.
We've heard a lot of people say that wheated bourbons or a higher wheated mash bill takes a little bit more time in the barrel, right? To kind of shed some of that distillate flavor that comes across, shed that just like raw grain note that's often present in a wheated bourbon or a wheat whiskey. And so I think doing this at 11 years is where we're really starting to get that barrel coming in, cutting out some of that distillate. I think it drinks very mature at that.
Sure.
But certainly not young. But yeah, I would not have picked this as a wheat whiskey.
I agree.
I like it. I like seeing that.
Yeah. So have you guys tried it with your ham yet? I'm just curious.
I did.
And we haven't talked about the palate and the finish obviously yet, but I'm just
It
curious.
pairs well with the ham.
Okay.
The nose on this, so another reason I know this, because the other day my wife did one of those steam pots on the stove. And it had like star anise, orange, cinnamon, different...
what was she making?
It's just you put the stuff in there and it's supposed to just smell up your house.
Okay. I gotcha.
And that's exactly what this...
She did some of that pot pourri.
Well, I was wondering, I'm like, are you making, is there maybe something being...
Yeah, you can
distilled
Google
up,
it. They're called like holidays. I think they're called like steam pots or something. But
Gotcha.
you just throw some, and it has cherries in it, but it just
Vanilla
an
and all
aroma.
that.
Yeah, kind of like a potpourri.
Well, I mean, it was really cool of these guys to invite us over. And Matt, I'm sorry you couldn't make it with us on that one, but
Don't feel bad, man. I didn't even get an invite.
sorry, Philip. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I wouldn't win.
I don't make the rules. You wouldn't win it. I wouldn't win it.
I don't even know what day it was.
But I mean,
Thursday.
It was fun,
Thursday.
and I'm happy to see these guys are still committed and doing their, doing the work, and that they're both still involved with it. Because I think we talked about that before, right after, because we had them on the show like 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
That was announced.
I mean, it's always scary to hear about a brand that you like and you trust getting,
Sure.
bought out by a larger company. Which, not to say that you don't trust Ross and Squibb or MGP, but
right. But you still,
Yeah,
just
there's
wonder.
still that
It leaves a lot of uncertainty out,
fallout.
like what's going to happen
Right.
to that brand. Is it going to stay true to its name? Is it going to be like dissolved in and just become like a house brand?
Right.
And especially, I think with Penelope, with where they were going with experimenting with different casts, different flavors, different profiles, different toast, chars, all the experiments and different product lines they had, it would have been really easy for someone to just kill that off, like have the Architect, their French Oak, and just some other like staple products. I really like seeing where it's going now, having these new founders.
Yeah, and
product
Danny's still their
lines.
master blender for those.
Yeah,
that
which
just
is great.
Don't know.
Same palette, still blending for them.
Still
Yeah.
blending. I
And
hope he
honestly,
never stops.
their Penelope's probably the biggest brand that MGP has at this point, or in my opinion. I don't know about sales wise,
I
but
would say probably most well known,
Yeah.
recognized maybe.
Yeah.
to the bourbon connoisseur that is into it, I think
Yeah.
Penelope would stand out over.
I mean, because you got to think about the whole, because it's Luxco MGP, right? So they've got everything that comes out of Luxco or Lux Row. So they've got Ezra Brooks, Rebel is from
You've
them
got
as well.
Yellowstone. and-
Yellowstone is part of their the brand, all the Ross, but Ross and Squibb, nobody really knew much about Ross and Squibb because MGP was just all about contract distilling and selling barrels, right? So they never really launched their own brands and promoted those until
I guess
they started-
Remus.
Yeah,
right? They
Remus.
started the Remus brand and
Rossville Union.
Rossville Union Rye, which you love, right? So
He's like,
yeah, but now the Remus Reserve, especially, it was the
repeal.
oh, the repeal, yeah.
Those are always unanimous
Yeah.
hits because they're able to source like those 15,
Those old barrels.
16 super old barrels to mix them into the mix. Otherwise, I have to say, love Ross and Squibb MGP, but I feel the Remus line is kind of a resounding miss.
Yeah. Those reserves, though, I saw at Liquor Barn, they had a 3-bottle collection, I guess they've just put out. So it was like, whatever, 4, 5, and 6, or 5, 6, and 7. I mean, it's $600. But, I mean,
Oh, so you bought 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Filthy animals.
Yeah.
Chad
that's
doesn't
right.
get one.
That's right, Chad. But no, I mean, it's $200 a bottle, but they're 15, 16-year-old whiskey usually in there. So I don't know. I mean,
Have they went up that much?
it was
Because I'm trying to
600.
think. The last time I bought a
100.
Reserve, I
100.
think you picked them up, didn't you?
Oh, was it really?
In
$100
Michigan.
for
yeah.
batch 2.
Yeah.
I thought they were more than that.
No.
Huh. Interesting.
I haven't had a Remus Reserve in a while.
Yeah. We had it on the show, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm sitting here like tearing country ham as I'm talking to you guys. I can't get enough of it. So, should we talk about the palate and the finish on this one, guys?
Yeah, skip me because I've been.
What do you think,
devouring
Matt? I'll
ham.
throw it to you because I've
Oh, shoot.
been eating country ham the whole time and jibber jabbing, trying to guide this ship somewhere.
I got this one. It tastes like whiskey.
Philip,
Nailed it.
awesome.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Which my first sip of this, to go echo what Philip was saying on the nose, how he feels that wheat whiskeys are a little hot. First sip, I was like, oh man, like
It definitely drinks higher than its proof.
yeah. Awake
107,
now.
what I say, 107.6?
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely warmer than that.
A lot of those wheat flavors come across, the wheat note. Like this is where I'm now getting that cherry syrup.
Yeah.
There's a like subtle sweetness, almost like a black cherry ice cream. There's like a touch of creamy note to it. The grain that we had talked about, like any of that distillate, it definitely has been aged out.
Sure.
I'm not getting any young qualities about this. It's not tannic. It doesn't have like a super hot, long finish. Just really nice, well-rounded, well-balanced, good and bold. Just nice product.
Yeah. Philip?
Yeah. I second what Matt said. It's delicious. It does have a good mouthfeel and it lingers on your tongue for quite a while. The back end of the finish, I feel like disappears really quick.
Yeah.
But the front part of your palate, the flavors really hang
It
on.
hangs in there.
But yeah, I think it's really good.
Stacey, what do you think?
Honestly, if I wouldn't have known this was a 95.5 wheat, I would have guessed this to be a higher rye bourbon.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. It just the way that it hits my palate.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the palate on this, though. It's very good.
Yeah, I enjoy
Cherry
it. Like I
notes
said,
do shine through.
this
more
was
so.
my second. And it's funny. Well, this is my second pick of the 5 lots that we had. So, but it was very close between the two. Lot D was different.
Lot B was hot.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you two, since you had all the lot,
Yeah.
what did you notice flavor profile, nose-wise, like
Lot B
going
was
through
really
them?
hot, but that was the highest proof one. I think
It
that one
was.
was like 118.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was-
And that one was like citrusy.
See, I didn't take notes. I should have
That
taken
one
notes.
came across more like citrusy, herbally to me, almost like
Okay.
black tea type. And then I remember as we got to like D and
She does remember. Awesome.
D and E were like, this is a little bit more of what I would
Yes.
expect
Sure.
from
Yeah.
Penelope.
I think between
Okay.
the 5, I think when you hit D and then E, it was like, oh, yeah. I mean, this is kind of like the spot where you think it should be. And I'm not saying that the other ones were bad, because
No,
they
it
weren't
wasn't
bad.
bad. They were just
very
different.
good. Yeah, but these
Yeah.
two really were elevated above the other 3. But I mean, they were different.
Yeah, but you want to do that, right? If you're going to put
Right.
out
Sure.
5 different
Yeah.
products, what's the point
Yeah,
of
you don't want them to
making
be the same, right?
5 of the same thing?
Yeah, and I think that's Danny's ability, his magic, that he can take barrels and blend them to whatever he wants them to end up like. And I think that's part of being a good blender, is being able to take barrels like that and just put them together and create something unique, but create something that's good across the board, which he did.
So did you all say the highest out of all the lots was 118?
yeah, it was 118, I think, point like 2.
That makes me wonder. We were talking about the wheated bourbons get hot. Even
118.4.
like the Van Winkles and stuff, don't they stop at like 107, 114? They don't go much higher than that. None
What's
of them
the-
go to like 120, do they?
Is the 15, is that the hottest?
That's 107. Well, I mean, that's proof down, though, to 107, right?
Yeah,
107.
But that's what I'm wondering though. Is like, because obviously the Van Winkles are the old, wheated brand.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, because I don't know that I've ever drank a wheated bourbon that's over
William
like
LaRue.
one. I guess that might be
those
the
are-
old
But that's
one.
a wheated bourbon. Whereas,
Yeah.
This
you
is
know,
a
with-
wheated whiskey.
Yeah,
So I
there's
just
some
wonder
much
if-
higher wheat content in this.
Yeah.
but,
Sure.
So if the brands have to keep it proof down
Yeah.
to keep it from being so hot. Because like this one, it drinks higher. It drinks warmer than what it is.
So that makes sense. I do not know the answer to that question. So yeah, pairing this with the ham. I'm just saying, Matt.
It's really good.
Yeah, good pair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, man. You were talking about the cherry, kind of that cherry flavor and the sweetness. And I think with the salty ham, that dark cherry, bourbonish or brown sugary kind of flavor just kind of pairs well with that.
And Philip nailed it. This is a good winter, fall sip.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to drink this in the summertime.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, probably not.
But I mean, it drinks way hotter than 107.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah, most certainly.
Yeah. Did you see, now this, would it stand up in a cocktail? Yes. Would I put this in a cocktail? No. I don't remember what you remember what the pricing was? Because I know they had these up at.
I didn't drink cocktails that evening.
Yeah, and they had these bottles up at, they had some of these estate collections at Liquor Barn the same day I was up there. But I don't remember what
I don't know what the pricing is.
I don't know what the pricing
either.
was. I was just going to look and see because I thought I had a picture.
I'm just going to guess like 200.
I'm guessing it's probably going to be pretty pricey
Or
because
250 maybe.
these are 11-year-old
Nice
barrels.
packaging. Came in a box.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is
The
beautiful.
bottle itself is like inlaid with the
Yeah, this
Penelope
is-
logo.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's-
was an expensive bottle.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's and this is like etched on the estate collection. The label's, obviously green with the gold foil, and it's stamped or it's, raised up on there. So,
It is very pretty.
and they got that little, that's obviously glued on as well, like the P. So, sticking with that traditional P from the Penelope, but it is,
Higher end.
it is, yeah,
On
because it's
appeal.
obviously the glass is cut out and this P is,
Embossed.
embossed. Is that okay? Embossed, yes. Yeah, man, high end for sure, which is what Penelope's known for, right? And I think it's got is it peonies? That's their flower.
Peonies, yes.
Peonies?
Peonies.
Peonies?
Peonies.
They're not,
Peonies.
Peonies.
they're not peonies?
I mean, that's how country folks say it, but.
Well, did I ever tell you I was from Eastern Kentucky?
Hey, y'all.
Did y'all know that?
Monongahela.
Monongahela.
Monongahela, right? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the
peonies.
pricing is on this, but beautiful bottle, and I really, really enjoy it. So what are your final thoughts on this one? What do you guys think?
I think they did a great job with this. I have no feedback to give. Aside from I would not sit and try to crush this
No.
all evening or during the summertime.
No, this is going to be a one sipper, and I'm probably going to be check out on that one,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's a great pour. We don't know what the retail is, but
No, I just
mean,
asked.
we've seen secondary prices on it already. I wouldn't pay
Yeah.
$600-700 for it, but
Yeah, it's on secondary for
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
to 7.
I was
If you're
thinking,
that desperate.
but-
retail's right too.
like 200.
I'm thinking like 175 too, maybe.
Comparing that to other $200 bottles on the market, I would say to buy.
Yeah. Matt, what are your thoughts, man?
I like it. I like it a lot. It's nice to see 95.5 wheat whiskey.
Wheat whiskey, right?
Getting its day in the sun, right? I think
Nothing like wheat in the sun.
wheat whiskey, I think light whiskey, I think those are two really underloved categories of whiskey that we all enjoy in our bourbons
Sure.
or in our ryes as a component that should be given a little bit more spotlight and a little bit more runway.
So, just thinking, what is it? Bernheim? Is that a wheat whiskey?
It's a wheat whiskey.
From Heaven Hill, right?
Yeah.
Are there other? I mean, that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. That's a actual wheat whiskey.
I thought Old Dominic had one.
Do they have a wheat? They
I
make-
I
believe
think you're
like
right.
the red label back in the square jar.
Okay.
I thought that was like a
Call up your girl Alex and ask.
a wheated whiskey.
Yeah. You guys know of any wheat whiskey? Like straight up?
There's not, but just a handful. if
Yeah.
that,
I was going to say, Bernheim's the only one I can think of from Heaven Hill that's right off the top of my head. So,
Well, I like it too because like that, bourbon drinkers, you can be like, no, this isn't bourbon. This is a
for
wheat
sure.
whiskey. And they're going to be like, oh shit,
I
that's
could
good.
give that
Yeah.
to 99% of my friends, and they'd be like, "Oh God, this is a great bourbon."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Yeah, it is."
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah,
You know what? And now you got me thinking on the subject here of wheat whiskey. I have back at my house. I didn't bring it for you all because you all got ham instead.
well, we appreciate that.
thank you.
A malted wheat
Ooh,
whiskey, 100% malted wheat
okay.
from Baltimore Distilling,
Oh.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Nice.
So of course using enzymes
To break down.
to get the fermentation,
Yeah.
even though it is malted wheat. but it's a 100%. I imagine when you get outside the sphere and the influence of Kentucky, probably like more prevalent. I imagine like wheat whiskey probably down in Texas.
Yeah.
There's probably a fair, I would think, maybe places in Iowa or,
Kansas, wherever they grow wheat,
But we just get
places.
so almost like jaded here in Kentucky to think like, if it's not 51% corn, then what are we doing? Putting it in a bottle. But there's a lot of really great stuff. And I'm sure a lot of places out there, there's really great wheat whiskey.
Yeah. And it's funny because this is an MGP product. They bought these barrels, right? And they've been sitting on them for a while. So obviously these weren't contract distilled. I don't think it was like Danny and Mike were like, hey, distill us some wheat whiskey. I think they just bought these barrels.
Yeah, kind of like their light whiskey. They had a 12 and a 14-year light whiskey as well.
So obviously MGP distilled, it wasn't just 24 barrels. So there's obviously other barrels out there. So
people are getting their hands on.
Kind of curious now to know
where else it's ending up.
What
else they're doing with it.
Who else has these barrels? Yeah. And what are they doing with them? So
the MSRP on this is $199.
Yep, $200. There you go.
Nailed it.
So all right.
I mean, the Hooters whiskey came from MVP.
I'm really upset I didn't get to try that one.
I'm upset that I can't find any more bottles. No, it's gone.
Dude, it's gone. He drank it all.
That stuff is good.
Well, guys, let's take a quick break. We're at the end of round 2 here. Let's take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors. We'll come back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Three Chord's line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The Three Chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they call Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
Welcome to Old Dominick Distillery, a family-owned craft distillery nestled in the heart of downtown Memphis. Founded by descendants of Domenico Canali, a pioneering Sicilian immigrant who made Memphis his home in the late 1800s, Old Dominick is steeped in history and tradition. Old Dominick prides itself on offering a diverse selection of whiskeys to satisfy every taste. Whether you're a seasoned connoisseur or a curious newcomer, you'll find something to love, including an 85-proof Tennessee whiskey, bonded Tennessee whiskey, a single-barrel Tennessee whiskey, a 90.1 proof bourbon, and coming this fall, a cask-strength bourbon. Each bottle of Old Dominick whiskey is crafted with care, featuring unique mash bills that offer a variety of high and low proofs. This dedication to quality ensures there's a perfect pour for every whiskey enthusiast. Old Dominick whiskeys are proudly distributed in several states, including Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Georgia, Arkansas, Illinois, and Mississippi. Can't find us locally? No problem. You can conveniently purchase our products online and have them delivered straight to your doorstep. Ready to explore the world of Old Dominick? Visit our website at olddominick.com to learn more about our history, discover our products, and find a retailer near you.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the third final round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight live in the Bourbon Life Studios, otherwise known as my basement, it is my good friends, the Bourbon Life Crew, most of them anyway, and that includes my co-host, Matt. Matt, how you doing, man?
Mark, I'm great, man. Always so good to be around the table, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. You feeling okay?
Yeah.
All right.
My allergies have been getting at me a little bit.
I was gonna say I can't tell if you're drunk or just happy to be here. I wasn't sure.
Both.
Okay.
He's
cool.
teary-eyed because we haven't all been together.
That's right.
Speaking of which, we got Philip, who's not been here forever.
It's been a
Smile
little
through
while.
the glasses, man. Talk through the glasses.
What's
damn it.
up?
Yeah. You doing all right, man?
I'm doing good.
Happy to have you back with us. And Stacey, what's up?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I just saw you last week, so that's not that big of a deal. Well, we are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented. Oh man, I forgot to do that second round, didn't I? With the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Liquor Barn.
Oh, I think you did.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna
I know.
gonna kick us out.
We appreciate their support and the support of all of our sponsors. We could not bring you this show with great content like we have here tonight every week without their support. So with that said, hey guys, we got something poured up this round. You want to talk about it?
It's nothing special.
Nothing special?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I just so happened on Friday to be at my favorite place, Liquor Barn. They were doing Pups and Pints up there.
Chicken salad Fridays.
It was chicken salad Friday, and actually I got a turkey sandwich, believe it or not.
What?
I know. I got a turkey sandwich.
Oh, a little Thanksgiving warm-up.
Turkey, yep.
A little
Turkey
Thanksgiving
sandwich.
pregame.
Yeah.
Pregame. So yeah, I just happened to be up there, and they put out a bunch of King of Kentucky, which
And Elmer T. Lee, right?
yeah, Elmer T. Lee. They had several different things, but those were the two obviously big ones that. And I have a bottle of Elmer T, but there's not much left. So I thought, you know what?
gonna say,
I think it
that's
was
more.
69, 65.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that much now?
Yeah. So yeah, which I'm sure it used
Still
to be.
cheaper than what I've seen it.
Sure. I mean, because secondary, I think it's like 180 or 200, maybe something like that.
So stupid.
Which is stupid. So anyway, yeah. So they had the King of Kentucky. This is, let's see, barrel number 42. So this is, I think there's information somewhere. Oh yeah, bottle 40 of 96 total. This is 66.25 proof. So what's that? 132.5. So a nice high proof bourbon.
And so,
Speaking of stupid on secondary,
Yes.
what is the story behind King of Kentucky? It's Brown Forman, correct?
It is Brown Forman's King of Kentucky. It was originally produced back in the like 30s and 40s, and I don't know who actually had it. I do know, and the reason I've always wanted to bottle this is because It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite.
I knew you were going to say that.
What? It's my favorite. It is my favorite movie.
Every time a bell rings, an angel
Oh, that's that
sings
annoying
praise.
little thing that plays in a Christmas Vacation.
Man. So in the movie, after they jump in the river, if you guys
Yes.
know the movie, they jump in the
haven't
river,
watched it.
they dry their whatever, dude. They dry their clothes off. They go to the bar, which was originally Martini's bar, but after the river jump, it's Nick's bar. So nobody knows. George Bailey has no idea what's going on. He orders a double bourbon.
George.
Yes, George Bailey, he orders a double bourbon. So he gets a double bourbon, and it is a King of Kentucky. So my favorite movie actually has a bottle of King of Kentucky sitting on the bar as George Bailey enjoys a double bourbon. So I've always wanted to get a bottle of it. So Friday I was lucky enough to pick one of these up. And yes, it is crazy on the secondary. I've seen people selling this for $1,500 up to $1,800.
Ridiculous.
What's the retail on it? Like 300?
A little more than that, but we probably won't say.
You're
More.
closer to 4.
A little bit more than that, but I'm not going to say. So,
It's over 4 now.
yeah, it was.
God.
So, yeah.
Shnikes.
Yeah.
God, did they sell that with a tube? It came out of jail?
But you know what? I thought, gosh, if I could get this bottle, I could share it with my great
Sure.
friends who love me
hey.
so much.
I'm
And
going to jump ahead. The nose smells amazing. I'm
Yeah.
not giving notes, but I'm not complaining.
my
No.
friends who love me so much and always treat me with so much respect and dignity, I could
It's
share
certainly
this.
not
I was
us
gonna
then.
say, we haven't shit on you this episode.
Yeah.
I
we've
know.
been-
You
we've
guys
been-
have been
we've been
great. So let's talk about nose. Philip, you already started out, man. You want to wait? I've never thrown one to Stacey first. Stacey?
Cherry.
Very cherry.
Next. And cherry Coke.
Yeah. Okay. Philip, anything else?
Then, and this is going to, how old is this?
This is 16 years.
Okay, so the nose, that cherry Coke that Stacey talked about, the initial nose, it actually reminds me of our Frey Ranch pick that we did with the Bourbon Life.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It's super strong, like cherry Coke.
Does it know? Well, let's ask Matt. Matt, you're working it over, man. I hate to interrupt you with your girl down there, but
To me, the cherry is definitely present, but I get cherry tobacco. There's
Okay.
that,
definitely
yeah.
like pipe tobacco
okay.
that comes through on the nose for this. Certainly a creamy.
I'm thinking like
Quality to
old,
it.
Old school George
Yeah.
Bailey fountain cherry Coke. Like
Hot dog.
Sunday and
Yeah.
a hot dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honey, I'm going down to the soda fountain.
Yeah, exactly. But I could totally see the pipe tobacco there.
Well, yeah, because it reminds me of my dad used to smoke pipe every once in a while. And
I love that smell.
Cherry tobacco was one of the tobaccos that he would smoke. So yes, it does very reminiscent of that.
Color is gorgeous too.
Kind
So
of like a
obviously-
cherry wood
Huh. Okay.
like note to it as well. I think is like as we're expanding on this cherry aroma that's going around. It's like cherry wood on it as well, cherry blossom.
Yeah. Now I would tell you, if you handed this to me, I would tell you that this is probably an older Heaven Hill product.
I would think so too.
I mean, that was my first reaction. Was it's reminiscent to me of a
I don't smell quite as much of like the funk on it, though.
Yeah.
That I get from older Hill.
See, I would have said more of a older Buffalo Trace.
Oh, would
Because
you?
I think most of their like mash bill one is so cherry forward.
I got you.
No, do they distill their own?
Brown Foreman. Well, yeah.
Oh, okay, so
yeah,
it's Brown
it's
Foreman.
Brown
Okay,
Foreman.
okay.
Yeah, so it's part of their, because they own.
It's definitely not
Old
like
Forester
it's
and
definitely
Woodford
not like an
and-
old Forester nose or
no,
anything like that.
No, not at all. It's
Kind of has like old Willet vibes,
oh yeah,
which I think would track with
With what?
being Brown Foreman.
yeah.
This tastes like some of the older
Older
Willet
Willets.
You know what I think
products.
this is?
What do you think it is?
Super aged, early times bottled and bond.
Nailed it.
Well, it can't be. It can't be bottled and bond.
No,
It's
I'm saying
132.
what the
I
barrels
got-
they had
but-
set aside for that.
I
They
gotcha.
just decided, hey,
They
let's
just
let these
said,
wait
screw it, let's let it-
17 years.
Let it age a little extra. Yeah.
12 years ago, somebody was supposed to put together a batch of bottled and bond.
And they said,
and
damn it.
they forgot about it.
Oops.
Then all of a sudden,
And then they started all the Buffalo Trace and like, oh shit, we still got these barrels. Let's put
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
No, it's got a delicious nose.
132.5, does it nose that to you guys?
It does
No.
not nose it at all.
Okay. I wanted to make sure because I'm like,
No,
I
if I had to
keep-
guess, I would say like 110.
Yeah.
I keep nosing it. I'm like,
I would have said like 115-ish.
yeah, it doesn't nose anywhere near.
The second pour we had nosed
Hotter than
way
this.
hotter.
Oh yeah, yeah. Penelope, the one
Yeah.
was 7.6, right?
Yep.
So it was 20 some points
Yep.
lower,
Yep.
but nosed much hotter than this one does. But the color on this, good
God, it's beautiful.
gosh, I mean that's gorgeous. I'm excited to get this. I'm excited to share this with you. Like I said, no offense to my brother, I love you if you're listening, but I went home for Thanksgiving to my parents and took a nice bottle home to share with him. But I was like, no, I'm going to save this for the crew. We're going to crack it together and enjoy it. So, but this is a single barrel as well. It's just sort of, yeah. I mean, I
I'm
already
really
said it.
glad that Chad isn't here because let's think back to the what was the bourbon event at the in January?
Bourbon Con.
Bourbon Con.
Bourbon Con.
He texted us and was like, VIP Lounge
that's
has the
right.
King of Kentucky. And
That's
we like
right.
went up there and,
And it
guess
was
what?
gone.
King of Kentucky was gone.
Chad drank it all.
He drank it. I'm sure he
He
did.
legit.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense though. If that's a single barrel, the $500 roughly price tag
Yeah.
at 17 years, there's not a lot of bottles that's yielding from that. So that actually,
no, this-
97, did it say? 94,
96 bottles.
so that
How
doesn't.
many did they have sitting on the shelf that day?
Well,
counter?
but they had different barrels, right? So
Okay.
there were other
Right.
barrels, and I didn't know. I mean, from barrel to barrel, I was just like, I'm just going to grab what I can grab, right? So it's like being at a rock concert. You just grab what you can get. But anyway,
I don't know what kind of rock concert you go to, but
Yeah.
it was back in the
Yeah,
back in
I
the
don't,
80s.
I don't think that that
doesn't
doesn't fly
apply.
anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Damn it!
Different
you're
times.
not relevant anymore.
You've been canceled.
Give me that pour back. Anyway, so yes, they had when I left, when I walked away from the counter, I think I counted like 17 bottles.
That's actually pretty impressive for them to
Yeah,
have
but
that
there were
many.
other people that had them in their hands, so there were probably 20 plus bottles that they had there.
So did they exclusively release it at Liquor Barn?
No. I mean, well, I don't.
Because I mean,
I've seen.
if 17 bottles were at one store, that's
Yeah, it's
That's
a
pretty
lot.
impressive.
It is. It's a lot. And I monitor, I get on secondary and just look and see what's going on. And these have been all over
Yeah.
the last 3 or 4 days.
There's a big Central Kentucky drop of these.
So I don't think it was just Liquor Barn. I think people pick these up a lot of places. I'm seeing them in Louisville, Lexington.
Yeah, I
all
imagine
around.
whoever the distributor, Heidelberg, whoever
Somebody.
got an allocation in from Brown Foreman and
it
was
popped it out
finally
to everybody.
finally able to fulfill orders.
And I've only seen one other person crack it, and it's Anthony. I don't know if you guys know Anthony Limperos.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know him.
what's
yeah.
his Instagram handle? I probably do.
Professor Kicks. He does.
Yeah,
he's a big sneaker
UK
fan.
professor,
Yeah,
communications professor.
But they do the
I don't know.
mashup. They do
I mean,
the
I-
mashup podcast. He and a couple
Okay.
other guys do the mashup podcast. But he posted. It was funny because he posted the bottle. It was open and there was just one glass. And he's like, "Yeah, you're supposed to open these and share them with your friends." And I'm like, "Who are your friends?" Like,
and was
me,
he only
myself-
giving them this much?
It was one glass. It was just him. So I'm like, "Who are your
He
friends,
is
dude?"
his own friend.
Oh, exactly right. I was like, "So I'm giving
Right,
Anthony
but at
some
least
shit."
he opened it.
He opened the bottle. That's exactly right.
I got to ask you a question here, Mark.
Sure, Matt.
All nostalgia aside,
Yeah. Okay.
is there a reason to be paying?
No, there's not. No, there's not.
I've always wanted one of those, but knowing that it's damn near $500 now.
Yeah. No, is it a $500 bourbon? Probably not, because I've had bourbons that taste as good, probably,
That Jim Beam, 20 years.
I was just going to say, the Jim is $250, half the price, 20 years old, 4 years older. And I think it's probably as good, if not better. And that William Heaven Hill, you know, again, that was another like $269, something like that.
And it was what?
15?
It was 15 years old. That William Heaven Hill was 15 years, right? So right at the same, almost the same age point. And again, probably about half the price, right? So yeah, there's other things out there, but to be able to say, yes, I have
I'm glad you bought it. Thanks.
That I have a King of Kentucky, just because, yeah, Matt, obviously it does have some value to me just because that is my favorite movie. And I've always just been so enamored with the fact that it sets on the bar, you know, during that scene. And I was like, yeah, I would love to have a bottle. So
you got a time stamp on when that's in there? Because I'm not watching the movie, but I'll fast forward it and look at the picture.
Is it before he falls in the water? Or
it's after. It's right after he falls in the water.
All right.
Yeah, after he falls in the water,
I'll fast forward.
They dry their clothes. They walk down to Nick's bar, and as they're sitting at the bar, and Clarence wants the flaming rum punch. So it's like a 2-minute sequence.
What is the movie? Is it a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Are you shitting me? You don't know what?
I've never watched it.
Oh my God. It's an old black and white Christmas movie.
You don't know what?
The only thing I know is from Christmas
Stewart?
Vacation when he's like, every time a bell rings, the angel gets its wings. And I'm like, God, that's annoying.
That's from It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes, but
his little kid.
I know, but how do you not know the movie It's a Wonderful Life? It is like the #1 all time.
My mom watches it on repeat.
Oh yeah, I love
Christmas.
it.
So you're saying it's your favorite movie? Is it your favorite Christmas movie? Or your favorite movie?
It's like my favorite movie.
For real?
For real. I just love the mess. I just love because when it was made, it was like 1946. So the cinematography, all the things of it, it's just so different than what movies were back then. But also, I just love the message of it. I don't know. Well,
I'll have to give it a shot. If you're that passionate about it, I'll watch it.
Old-fashioned.
Yeah, but
it's got a really good plot to it. It really does.
The message is that it is a wonderful life, and a lot of times
don't take it for granted.
We get caught up in the things that are going on day to day, and we forget all the other things in our life. So yeah, anyway, it's a good message.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, you should, man.
Come back and give us your thoughts on the Christmas episode.
Hey, seriously, man, you gotta watch it.
Watch that movie and it's trash.
You gotta watch it. So have you guys? I'm curious. Have you tried the whiskey with the ham yet or not? I haven't either, man. So,
to keep this conversation going longer, not with the movie, talking about pricing and stuff like that. Do you all think prices are going to start coming down? I know there's one of the Instagram pages, and I would shout him out if I could remember what it was. He posts little graphs all the time.
Yeah.
And some of the bigger brands, like Buffalo Trace, their Sazerac Rye, I want to say Elijah Craig. There's a few of them that the price has come down over the last, like he tracks it like every month.
Yeah.
Like retail pricing. And a bunch of them have went down. There was a couple that went up
for retail pricing.
Yeah, that's one that comes. And I've seen this before. That page you're referencing, Phil.
But I can't remember.
One that comes to mind to me is 7-year Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond.
Yes.
When it first came out was what, like $79.99, and now it's $49.99.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot it.
Some places, I think. At one point, McKenna was up to like $89.99, and I think now it's settling.
Was that because they were like top whiskeys or bourbons of the year, though? You think that they jacked up
this
that?
was pandemic. Because McKenna used to be what, like a $32 bottle for the 10-year, and then it won Whiskey of the Year, and it went up to like 48 or something, and everyone was up in arms. Yeah, and then there was a scarcity of it, and it like all but disappeared and came back like pre-pandemic, whatever, at like 85, like $79 or something. Now it's coming back down. So I think, Philip, like you're saying, especially these larger brands that I think have the supply and the ability to bring prices down, probably are doing, or at least I hope are doing so. Maybe smaller people are realizing that they've got a margin built in, and like, why are they going to cut that margin if they can make sales at that price? But I'd like to see, like to see a little correction. And
I've just noticed few secondary sites there are, what's left on Facebook.
Right.
People post bottles all the time.
Nobody buys it though.
But nobody's buying.
Yeah.
And then the MGP's cutting back production.
Yeah,
There's,
right.
you know, obviously if Buffalo Trace or any of the big brands are lowering their price,
Yeah.
I think that's the precursor to start knocking out some of these smaller brands that can't drop their price that low.
I think we're seeing some adjustments. You know, I think the market, from what I've seen, is seeing some adjustments, and I'm curious to see what happens over the next year or two. I think domestic consumption was down this year, so we're coming off that COVID high where everybody was drinking at home.
Well, now, so I heard this the other day, and I don't know if you all have heard this stat. I have no clue if it's true or not. I've also heard there's the Ozempic effect, that so many people are starting to take that that they can't drink, or they can't drink as much, and so that they've actually
I've heard that.
it's actually
I've not heard that.
affecting liquor sales.
For real.
And I also was reading something, I wish I could remember what it was on, but there's been an uptick of people taking like microdosing of like either mushrooms or marijuana
Wow.
during the day. And they don't want to drink because then they feel like shit the next day when they wake up. So you've seen an uptick in that because it's like if you microdose, it's legal in most states.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Well, and you can get on Amazon and get like certain types of like mushrooms. They don't get you high, but they
give you a calming effect.
They calm the effect, and then you don't need that. Oh, I need a drink when I get home.
Oh, I've been around people on mushrooms.
Yeah. Not
not psychedelic
not
mushrooms.
psilocybin.
It's a whole,
No, it's more like lion's mane, and chagra and something else. But like they're supposed to like
calm your nerves.
calm your nerves and give
the
you
whole like explosion of the podcast thing that I think it's actually having an effect on the liquor business.
Interesting. Well,
Whereas during COVID, everybody was just like, liquor store's the only thing open.
Well, sure. We saw that explosion, right, of drinking, right?
I became a bourbon connoisseur during COVID. That's for sure.
I became a master of bourbon. No, I'm just kidding.
Wine. I was really into wine during COVID too.
So we haven't talked about the palate and finish on this one yet, have we?
I think there's about to be it seems like there's a huge flood of well-aged whiskeys coming into the market too, like different new brand, like a new brand. Every week is launching a 10, 12, 13. I know there's about to be a huge flood of 15 plus year products
and I wonder
hitting markets.
If the bigger brands have had stuff sitting and they're just like, here, let's unload some of this. And because didn't that happen, like, what was it like?
It happened a few years ago.
I was just saying, there was like a whole 15-year-old.
15-year-old.
Well, but it's private brokers. Now that barrel prices are coming down, they're worried it's going to keep coming down and keep coming down. So they're just trying to cut and run. So people that are sitting on all this well-aged stock of whiskey barrels that bought them in the height of the glut, when everything was booming, now all of a sudden barrel prices are coming down.
We got to get rid of these.
Yeah, here we're sitting on these 15-year-old bourbons or whatever, but you can go out and you can source good 4, 6, 8-year product for half the price. So everyone's like, all right, just cut and run. Let's get some profit, get something out of these.
And we talked about this months ago on the podcast that, as consumers, yes, we may see lower prices, and yes, we may see some really good whiskey being released at good prices, hopefully, right? So I'd be curious to see if
we knew
happens.
the bubble was going to bust eventually, and there's only so many Horsehead bottles you can buy until it's like
that orbital shaped bubble seems to still be going strong, right?
It's slowed down. The tours are still packed in Frankfurt, like pretty much every day, but most days, if they're sitting out Blanton's or Weller or anything like that, you can go there in the afternoon and there'll still be some bottles left to buy.
Interesting.
Are they still scanning your ID where you can only get it like once every 6 months?
I think that has an impact. Yeah, there's like a 30 or a 3-month window once you buy one.
It felt like it was 3 months or something like that.
And so that cut back, but I think most people that got them, that wanted them have got them now. Yeah. And so it's,
They got the whole collection.
I would love to see a progression of, I'm just going to call out Blanton's here.
Of me drinking more? Yes.
A progression of Blanton's in age and quality from 2018, 2017 till now. Because now it's a younger product, right?
The best I know it is,
Now it's 5 to 5.
Yeah.
6, maybe 7, where before it was always,
8, 9.
Yeah, theoretically, we always thought it was this older
like
8,
an 8
9.
to 10-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
How much variance can there really be? It's all in the same rick house, same proof, 93 out of that same. I would just like to go through and taste. I know we did that one time on the episode, Philip, with Old Granddad, right? 114. Yep. We had like a newer,
Yep, I brought
freshly,
a newer one, and
and then we compared it with one.
And there was quite a bit of a difference. Yeah.
Old, and I wonder if something
Do you have
like
an
that.
old Blanton's? I was gonna say we can.
Chad does probably.
We can make that. Chad's got some really old Blanton's.
I know he does. That's what I'm saying.
I hope we can get those.
We could definitely do that.
From his, what was that, Blanton's
The 30
February?
days of 28 days of.
Oh, he did
Blanton's.
28 days of Blanton's. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got.
February.
I know he's got one from 1989.
Old Blanuary.
Blanuary.
We should definitely do that. All right, guys, we're almost
Sorry to derail everything.
No,
Mark.
no,
I know you
derail.
were trying to keep us on
trying
track
to get you
here.
guys out of here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Here it is. Okay.
So let's talk about the palate and the finish.
Drink this and get the hell out is what he's saying.
Matt, what do you think?
Hit somebody else up. I need to
Stacey,
say.
as you're drinking, since you got a mouthful there, what do you think?
Spicy. I get some like blackberry cobbler notes on it. There's like some pie crust in there. Has a really good long finish on it. And that's about all I got.
For me, it's more of like a cherry pie sweetness, but it is definitely got some spice and it hangs
that
around.
Spice really hits you.
Yeah, I don't know what the mash bill is on this, unfortunately, so I can't.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're eating like some kind of like peppered jerky or something, and it could be part of that. Could be from the salt from that.
Did you eat the black part? You did not.
I was going to say,
I
I
ate one
tried
of
some
them.
of the ham with it. I don't care for
Yeah, it
with
doesn't. This one I don't think
The
pairs well with the
second-
ham.
You
It
didn't?
paired really well with the Penelope, I think. But I didn't like the ham with this one.
But it does have and like I said, it could be the salt from the ham, but it does have a real peppery bite when you.
Matt, what? Oh, he's got to proof his down a little bit. What do you,
I got to say, I think the palate on this is kind of overwhelmingly hot. Like
It is pretty hot.
I'm having a hard time picking up too much beside kind of
heat.
Yeah, just like heat and burning. It's really like taking over the palate, kind of too hot on the tongue, too hot even on like the roof of my mouth to really get a whole lot. I think it, maybe.
I do. Of course, I like high proof bourbon. So, the cherry comes through to me. I get that, cherry tobacco, like Matt talked about. I think it comes through on the palate. Leather comes through as an older whiskey. Again, the brown sugar to me, that sweetness comes through. Yes, it is hot, 132 proof.
She is spicy.
Yeah.
What do you think of it with water?
That's what I was going to say, because I took a sip of water right after I took a drink, and the cherry
with a little
is so
bit of
strong.
water, it opens up like really nicely. That cherry really shines through. More of the vanillas and like some marshmallow, a little bit of like a toasted quality comes through. So almost that pie crust. I think Stacey, you had said pie crust, like some sort of a confectionery pie crust or like a fried dough quality is
Like
in
a
there.
funnel cake.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like kind of funnel cake note with it. Yeah, I think a little bit of water actually does some work to this one.
Now, I will say this is a little tannic for me. It is a tad. It's a bit not in a bad way,
Right.
Because if I get something that's too tannic, I'll tell you it's like no, I don't like it. But this does have that little bit of a drying effect on my
It is
palate.
very dry.
Yeah, but it's not overwhelming. Am I happy I bought it? Yeah. Would I buy it again? I don't know.
Yeah.
The question is, are you
Should I
going
have
to
sold it
pour
for
it?
$1,700?
Are you? Yes.
Yeah.
Are you going to pour it and watch your movie?
Most definitely. Yeah.
I think this would be really good with some like vanilla bean ice cream.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that'd be good. I liked it with the ham because again, but see, I like the cherry. I like cherry.
I like the
And-
I like the flavors of this. I like the flavors of the ham, but I don't feel like they were cohesive together. That's
See,
my
I
opinion.
think a little sip of that with that ham in my mouth at the same time with that salty fat, the
Now,
fat on the tongue.
Hold on, I'm getting into the nuts.
To me, it was
let me dig into these
the
nuts.
salt and the heat didn't.
It didn't go.
Yeah, I would think the salt on the ham would wake up like the tongue a little
Yeah.
bit too much. That then the heat and those really strong flavors would just like overpower everything on the palate.
Have you a nut with it?
All right.
Maybe.
try some of Matt's nuts. Sorry, I'm
It's really good. With the
fingering all
nuts.
your nuts there. Sorry.
That's
okay.
a bad adjective. Verb.
It's delicious.
I'm sorry, I'm touching your nuts.
HR.
How else do you explain what I just did? I'm sorry, I was following your
You were
nuts.
fondling my nuts.
You're supposed to say grabbing.
I was grabbing nuts. There's no good way to say it. I'm sorry,
But it's
Stacey.
just
You could've
take a
said-
damn sip.
Yeah.
Stacey, sorry I grabbed your cashew.
It's really good.
Oh yeah, that is good.
That's a good pairing.
Initially, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I like
This
it.
with like a sharp white cheddar too.
Oh, yeah.
But on the finish, that was really nice because that cherry with that nut, yeah, very nice for sure. Damn, that's almost like a dessert kind of
Isn't it?
flavor on the end. Very
dig
good.
it.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, we're at the end of the show. Anyway, any final thoughts? Philip, what about you? Since you're the guy that's not been here in a long time, final
It's
thoughts?
been fabulous to be back.
No doubt. It's been great to have you back.
And I
Yeah, it
can't
has
wait
been.
till the Christmas episode.
Yeah, man, we got to figure that
We got
one
to
out.
figure out a date, but yeah.
Because that's the 15 blind challenge.
Oh shit!
Oh
Are
man,
we?
that was so much fun last year.
Yeah, we got to
forgot
do
about
it
that.
again.
Oh, that's right. Because what we each brought 3.
We
What's
each
that?
bring 3, and then
Yeah.
Anita pours them up
That's right.
blind to
nobody
us, and we
knows, yeah.
each grab one
Yeah,
every round. And we
yeah.
have to try
No,
to.
that was
and we
fun.
have the list of what they all are, so we're not, completely blind. We know what's
And
what's
let everybody know
available.
we're not drinking all 15.
No,
No, right. Yeah,
no.
not at all. So Matt, final thoughts, man, before we close it out.
To our listeners, we are, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, thankful for you all. Thanks for sitting down with us for another year. If you made it that far, good Lord. I mean, if you even made it
hard.
if
You're
you made it
hardcore.
this far into this
hardcore.
episode,
Yeah.
you probably have some larger issues than can be solved by listening to
They
Mark
just love your nuts,
Mark
man.
and I. But we really are. We're grateful, all of our sponsors, all of our listeners. It wouldn't be the Bourbon Life Podcast without everybody here, and to the crew, everyone around the table tonight. Thank you all. This has been really great. Another great year. Let's close it out with a nice, strong Christmas episode, and
Yes, sir.
everyone just enjoy the holidays.
Awesome. Stacey, any final thoughts?
Man, that was hard to follow.
Always hard to follow Matt, right?
Jeez. Second that. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's nice to have mostly everybody back. Chad's not even happy that much. Just kidding. We do miss Chad.
Yeah,
Miss busting his balls while
for sure.
But no, it is good to be back.
Yep, for sure. Thank you guys for being here. Philip, great to have you back. Always, man. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Matt, thanks so much for the ham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
For
for
the
the
ham.
ham.
Dude, I'm just praying that I don't wake up at like 2:00 in the morning with some weird.
I think that we would be feeling it.
I
Thank
know.
you
I'm
for
just-
hanging your meat for 22 minutes.
Hey,
No, here's the thing. No, but seriously, I am so happy that you chose to bring it here, man. Because you could have done anything with that, man. So
You could have done anything with your meat.
you could have
chose to
you could have
present
taken
That's right.
taken your meat anywhere and
I
shared
could have
your
taken
meat
my
with
meat
anybody
on the road.
and
Could have
shared
been
it.
what is it?
anywhere.
You could have been a star, a big bright shining star.
You could have, man. So I appreciate you bringing your meat here with us and
And my
sharing
nuts.
it.
Yeah,
and your
and your
nuts.
nuts.
I was going to say I hadn't gotten to that point, but
Oh,
thanks
sorry.
for sharing your nuts and your meat with us for this episode. It was delicious, man.
Please don't listen to this episode. The children are going to call.
No, but you know what? I'm excited to know that his ham turned out good because
It's
it
delicious.
that gives me hope for next year when I finally decide to
Then we'll
hopefully
have to have a
cut into mine.
ham off.
Yeah, we'll have a ham off. Matt's ham versus Mark's ham. We'll see what the difference is, right? But Matt, great job, man. Congratulations on that. I know you're kind of nervous about it, right? I mean, because it's like something you put.
I'd
long
be
time to
nervous
wait.
looking at that ham whenever it
Oh,
came out of the
shit.
pillowcase. I'd be like,
I'm posting it up on Facebook and Instagram so people can see some pictures.
It's going to get flagged as graphic content.
For sure. All right, guys. Well, we are the Liquor Barn Podcast. No, we are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Liquor
why
Barn.
don't you have you another king there?
Yeah, I'm gonna trust me. After this is over, I definitely will. So, we are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Liquor Barn. We appreciate their support and the support of all of our sponsors. Like Matt said, whatever time of day it is, morning, noon, or night, whenever it is you get your Bourbon Life fix, we appreciate you guys listening in. We know there's a lot of podcasts out there, so we appreciate you guys taking the time to check us out. If you have any suggestions or want to get in contact with us, please email us at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. You can find us on social media at, what are we? The Bourbon Life?
Bourbon Hunting KY.
Yeah, you forgot to say, Bourbon Hunting KY. And Chad is My Daily Bourbon. Should have mentioned that on Instagram.
Nobody
Stacey,
needs to follow him.
Do you want to throw yours
I'm
out there?
freckled and charred. If you're that bored, I haven't posted very much lately. So.
Yeah, me neither.
Just shoot me a message. Actually, and I don't know if it was a listener. This is, I know you're trying to wrap up.
Damn it.
I randomly got a message the other day, and it was just like, hey, and the person was like messaging me like they knew me. They were like, hey, I've got this bottle from Maker's Mark. It says it's a sample, like a distillery sample or something. He was like, do you think I should just drink it or should I try to sell it? And I'm like, fuck it, just drink it. I'm like, you're not going to get anything for it. Just,
drink it, man.
So I don't know if that was a listener or not, but if it was, thank you for reaching out.
Thanks for reaching out. You can reach out to Philip or Stacey.
Rando.
Yeah, just randomly reach out. That'd be great. But yeah, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life, our private Facebook group, The Bourbon Lifers. Join us in there, have some great conversations, a lot of fun to do that. Check out Big Mike, Big Chief on the Whiskey Trip. That's every Tuesday. His episode comes out under our umbrella. So whatever podcasting platform you use, if you follow The Bourbon Life, you'll get his podcast as well. He's also on social media on Facebook and Instagram as The Whiskey Trip. So give him a follow, please, if you would. With that said, I'm going to wrap it up, send us home with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full and may you keep on living the Bourbon Life.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the Bourbon Life.
Welcome to the kitchen table at James B. Beam Distilling Company, where every visit is a celebration of tradition and flavor. Did you know that the kitchen table is nestled right within the heart of the distillery? That's right. You can experience the essence of James B. Beam's legacy while savoring their delectable dishes. Join them every Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a culinary journey like no other. Planning a special event? Let the kitchen table be your host, creating unforgettable memories for you and your guests. And don't miss their exclusive Behind the Beam tour and monthly Claremont Supper Club events, which will feature the 2024 Distillers Share releases at the November event. For more information and reservations, visit beamdistilling.com. The kitchen table at James B. Beam Distilling Company. Come as a friend, leave as family.